Hey everyone, welcome. We are on a 2-minute countdown to the show start. And if you're here early, you're amazing, know how loved you are. If in return, you could drop a little like on the video, that would be amazing. Helps with the old algorithm in a huge way. And you're looking for something to do, use the comments, tell us where in the world you're watching the show from right now. That would be absolutely amazing. It's going to be a boss show. Strap yourself in. You've still got a minute and 30-ish seconds, 32. Time to just about make yourself a very weak cup of tea or a standard cup of water. Yeah. I mean, look, if you're looking for something else to do, here's some awesome merchandise that we sell. I've no idea what the actual t-shirt is, but what I can say with absolute guarantee is that it's clearly amazing because our designers are great. That's on redmenmerch.com. Here's some cool stuff there. 1 minute till the show starts. Getting exciting. You can put in the comments section, who is your favorite Liverpool player of all time? Yeah, that should kill a few seconds, kill 15 just saying it. Yeah, really looking forward to this one. Thank you so much for sitting here in eager anticipation of what we're going to do for you, or the things we're going to do. It's going to be great fun, great laugh. What a time we're going to have here. Oh, 27 seconds. Here we go. Make sure that you've got your volume levels adjusted perfectly. You're sitting comfortably. And, you know, if you're the kind of person who's a very angry commenter, make sure you press that caps lock button first, because that way we know that you're shouting in anger when you type your comments in. But obviously, just be nice, right? Anyway, 4, 3, 2, 1, enjoy the show. Hey, what's happening? It is Thursday night, it is 7 o'clock, and that means it is Thursday night pint time. Yes, me and my guests will be looking back on Liverpool's win in the midweek over West Ham United and poor old football genius David Moyes. We'll also, in part 3, be looking ahead to the weekend's clash with Tottenham Hotspur as well. Can Liverpool start to really run down now with the second interim manager of the season, Tottenham Hotspur? That and more to discuss. And in the middle section, based on a YouTube super chat, I believe, from last week, we're going to be ranking Liverpool's most bitter of rival players. I'm saying that out loud. It's 100% upstairs in another room. That but we'll fix that later. Right, before I introduce my guest, and before we dive into looking back at West Ham, let's look back first at the week in Liverpool. Since we were last here, Liverpool fans were treated to a wonderful afternoon out watching a Rory Delap tribute act as Nottingham Forest deployed a human-shaped trebuchet to bombard the box. The Reds came out on top eventually with goals from Diogo Jota and Mohamed Salah as well. Salah in particular has clearly decided that he's never, ever going to win a penalty, so the best thing to do is just to try and score while you're being rear naked, choked to death. Good on you, Mo. Keep up the good work. Okay, moving on. Liverpool had another game of football, and do you know what they did? Liverpool won another away game. Yeah! Come on! Woo! Wasn't there, Tom? Woo. Right. It's good, that, wasn't it? Also in attendance at the game was Liverpool's lesser spotted chief principal owner, John Henry, presumably in town to conduct some major business acts. Gotta get that big, important business done. Cody Gakpo and Joel Matip managed to draw Liverpool back into the game and to the 3 points after Lucas Paquetá had given them the lead. Good to see Joel Matip banging a powerhouse of a header in from the corner. There was late controversy in the game, though. And rumours persist that government officials very nearly had to push the button on the mobile phone nationwide alert system for the second time in a week, as reports came in of nationwide potential flooding caused by the salty tears of David Moyes. Oh, so salty, David, so salty. Oh, Thiago, handball. Yeah, no, don't know why he's mank. No, wasn't a handball. It wasn't a penalty. Cry me a fucking river, David Moyes. Right, and finally, in tangential Liverpool news, Erling Haaland inevitably broke Mohamed Salah's season goal-scoring record, and Arsenal, champions-elect Arsenal, despite having a rousing pre-game speech, ended up on the receiving end of a Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland-led gangbang, as the Nordic meat crane, moved ahead of Mohamed Salah in the goal-scoring records, previously of 32, now at 33. Absolutely gutted for Mo, but yeah, congratulations. To just boring, innit? It's just so boring. You're bored with your long hair and your weird face and run and score loads of goals. Boring, absolute bores. Bore off. I'm fine. Right, look, forget it. That was the week in Liverpool. Let's first begin by introducing the guests that I have with me today to look back on the West Ham game fondly. First and foremost, let me welcome to the studio. It is the gorgeous, the sexy, the curvy, Mr. Steve Hoare. Woo, woo, woo! Woo! Tom, where's his canned applause? Boo! Disgrace. Hey!
The live studio audience are going wild.
Come on, yeah, someone forgot to press the bulb, the applause bulb.
Hello everyone. Hello, you right?
Yeah.
What's happening? You right?
You good?
I'm great, how are you?
What have you done doing today? You had Neil Jones in before, didn't you?
That's exactly what I did. Chatted to Neil Jones, went home, went to big shop at Tesco. Ooh. Got up the crisp banana, yeah. Mate, I'll be honest, big heavy dinner before we left. I had enchiladas, but that's a heavy a heavy meal to come out to work and afterwards, so I'm regretting it, but it was delicious.
That's if you sit on the couch, you question all of your life's decisions.
Yeah, it was a heavy one, but they were thoroughly enjoyable. But yeah, I'm thinking 2 hours sat on a Mexican food, that's anything could happen here. Feel sorry for Pajak sitting next to me in a minute, I'll be honest. He's going to feel that brunt.
Okay, anything could happen, digestively speaking. Let me introduce the man who might be facing full force of Steve's enchilada dinner. It is, of course, Mr. Chris Pajak. Woo!
Oh, jaunty?
Okay.
Woo!
Oh, good God.
Twinkle toes Pajak.
Didn't know I was doing that until I walked in.
No.
I'll be honest,
I had no clue.
didn't seem well thought out.
I just went with the music.
Yeah.
Mate, I liked it, jaunty.
If you'd had like the Ultimate Warriors theme music, you'd have been here in half a second,
Yeah,
as it
true.
was.
But I wanted to leave the guest outside, Ross.
All by himself. Honestly.
Okay, well let's not.
Let's bring him in.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's bring in viral DJ sensation, making his Redmen debut. It is Navos. Woo! Woo!
You get the royalty.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you should have done, yeah.
Next time, mate.
How are we doing, fellas? We good?
Yeah, Very,
That was
very
like
good.
that was like the royalty free closest we could get to Navos's music. I think. That's
Yeah, we did think about putting yours on, and we thought you'd probably take it.
You're like copyright strikers. Like,
Nah, it's good for me, that, isn't it?
I think we've only got one video on YouTube that's done more views than Believe Me, to be fair. So yeah, we would be getting. Maybe we should have copyright. Maybe we should have copyright claimed it while we had the chance. Yeah. Never mind. Like Virtua Cop 2. That's a long story for another day.
Keep playing on YouTube. Thanks.
Don't upload any Virtua Cop clips because we get paid for them.
Well, you do.
Yeah. Anyway, let's look back then. Liverpool beat West Ham by 2-1 at the London Stadium. And Navos, boss. Just nice to see Liverpool winning football matches, back-to-back away wins as well. The only way that they're going to get anything out of this season is by just grinding away, and that was what they did.
Yeah, we've got to keep going. Got to keep going at it. I just feel like we just need that little bit more, pushing on, because it's obviously it's I've said it a few times to mates and stuff like that. It's just, I feel like we just need to. I don't know. Kind of we've won, but it's like we've won, but there's always things that's kind of really annoying about Liverpool.
Yeah.
Obviously, we were 1-0 behind, and then came back and won it. But there's parts in the game where I'm thinking, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And but obviously glad we came away with
It's
the win.
small steps at the moment for me, because I get Navos's point, but I'm sort of looking at those like something that you can sort of build on. And it's that like, so I'm holding on to the fact that we were behind and we finally got a friggin' win. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm just sort of like, I think the problem is, and you'll probably agree with me on this, Navos, is the expectation levels are still last season's expectation levels, I think, for Liverpool at the moment, and they're just not capable of hitting those expectations. And if you roll it back a little bit and you're like, come on, let's just get a win and expect a win, maybe, then you're not, I don't think you're as disappointed, are you? Because you're going to win.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's where we're at. We're at the fine edge of the season here, Steve, where we need Liverpool to be perfect. And actually, in some regards, we've not been perfect and we've been winning games, which is the biggest almost sea change from what it's been for the vast majority of this. That actually should be a bigger encouragement for us, because we've had games where we've been perfect and we've blown teams away, but then we've been rubbish to back it up. To actually be a little inconsistent, to not be perfect in every element of the game, but be able to come out with wins, that's actually a skill that we've totally lacked.
Yeah, because this season has been, if we've played well, we've won, and if we haven't played well, we've tended to lose. It's been that simple, really. There hasn't been many games where you've gone, Liverpool just, there's 3 points, but they might not deserve those. There hasn't been much of that, really. Potentially Newcastle at home, with the Carvalho, but there hasn't been too often where you've gone, sound like 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10s, and they've won. I actually thought, to be honest, I thought he was good against West Ham for the most part. There was bits of it which weren't great, but I thought we were the better team by far. I thought we were in control of the game. The offside goal, that obviously that Bowen gets disallowed, is the but he was offside. So don't worry about it. Like, the defensive line, it did its job. That was the point of it. There was a couple of scares, wasn't there? I think late in the first half, where a couple of corners came in, but other than I actually thought he did okay. I think there's more positives from that than negatives, really. Mm-hmm. Another outstanding game from Alexander-Arnold in this role. West Ham, with the first team, actively tried to exploit it. And I think they actually got a little bit of joy, maybe because obviously no Ibu getting over there. Joe Matip's just a yard slower.
Well, that's the thing. Is it exploiting it, or is it just capitalising on
whatever it was? Either way, they had lads legging it down their left wing in acres, so that was something. But Liverpool kind of figured it out a bit. I thought Gakpo was brilliant, like absolutely unbelievable. So there's positives to take. I thought Matip actually overall did all right.
Well, I want to talk about Matip actually, because Navos, he's the only change. Obviously, Bukanate out injured. What was your reaction when you saw that Matip was starting? Would you have had Gomez in hindsight, looking back on it? What was you feeling at the time?
No, because don't know whether it's an unpopular opinion, but like I'm not really a massive fan of Gomez.
Okay,
but don't get me wrong. Obviously, he has played well for us a few times, but I just feel like he makes a few too many errors for me. So I kind of like the fact that Matip was starting, but then again, recent form, sometimes I've felt like he's been a bit shaky. But obviously, 20 minutes into the game, I could kind of feel he's going to be solid tonight.
I thought when I saw it was Matip, I thought maybe they're not going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
maybe they're going to just ask Trent to play right back, because I've always thought it needs to be someone who's more mobile to cover over there. But no, they just told Joe Matip, listen, you're doing it, like, get on with it.
Crack on.
And asked Jordan Henderson to go and help him out a little bit as well, which I actually thought Henderson struggled a little bit. Maybe it is the too many games in a row thing, because he did look tired. He looked like, that one where he's trying to get Chase Antonio and got absolutely nowhere near him. But
saying that, I watched the highlights from the Man City Arsenal game, and that is it their third goal where Thomas Partey he's like
running to quicksand, yeah. But that was my thing. I thought it would have been Gomez. If you'd have said Ibu's not playing, I thought, well, he's going to pick Gomez because he needs someone quick enough to get out there. But no, he went with Matip, and I thought, again, scores the winner, but overall he did all right. But I think it was the first time really I thought that, like, the negatives and the positives of the Alexander-Arnold thing, they were both there, all clear to see, is that there is going to be space there. But my God, because if you give that fella, if you just keep giving him the ball, he's going to do something.
Well, this is the point, Chris, is there's always space there. There's space there when we play 4-3-3, because Trent's job was to play more advanced on the right-hand side. So teams have always gone, it's Liverpool, let's try and get in the space behind Trent and between and the gap to the right-hand centre-half. The difference is now is we've managed to put Trent in the area of a field where he can have a far more positive impact going the other way.
Yeah, and then the flip side of that is the starting centre-back's position's better.
You know about it.
So, like, myself included, everyone was going like, well, Matip's not quick enough and all that type of stuff. Yeah, but he's 10 yards closer to where he was, where he needs to be, than if he's just playing a centre-half and Trent's gone on walkies, like, you know what I mean? So his starting position's better. I think Matip did really well defensively, to be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't say they had joy down there, but they attempted to go down the left-hand side a lot. I think Matip did really well in his duel with Antonio as well, because Antonio stayed nowhere near Virgil van Dijk. Like the header duels and all that, aerial duels and stuff, like Matip absolutely had him on toast there. And you consider what we saw against Nottingham Forest with Konate and Awoniyi, like, and the way that he dealt with Konate really well, and Konate probably came off second best. Matip was going up against Antonio and had absolutely no problems, who I think is a much better player and a stronger player, and maybe arguably a more physical player than Awoniyi. So, and yeah, definitely more experienced and he's had joy against us in the past as well. So, but give Trent the ball in the middle of the park. There was a point last night during the watch along where Paul goes, "Oh, where's his pass?" And then all of a sudden, he plays this fucking 40-yard ball down the middle, along the floor to Gakpo, and you're like, don't matter where his pass is, he'll find the pass.
Yeah,
give him the ball, like, he's going to find one.
Yeah, that middle role he's playing now, I just think it's suiting him so well, the way that Klopp's playing him now. I mean, obviously, he's always done it, but the balls he puts in now, and now he's in down the centre, I think are just like...
It just stands to reason, doesn't it? I know we've all had these conversations of Trent in midfield, blah, blah, blah. And again, this just to clarify this, I don't think it really matters to nitpick on this. Obviously, he's still technically playing right back for us. Just, he's adopting more of a central midfield role. But this is a kid who came in and was a midfielder and became an absolutely outstanding, generationally talented right back. In a world where, and then everyone's going, no, you can't, here's all the things, everyone's trying to describe to me what a right back should be, and none of them describe Trent Alexander-Arnold. So the idea that he should then, he's not going to fade quietly into the night, he's not just going to disappear and, and he's going to end up as a championship player, whatever. He's so good that he redefined what a right back can be. And now let's just find somewhere else to make it work. And that's the thing for me, because I'm so pleased. Because I love Trent. We're so privileged that he's a Liverpool player. We're even more privileged that he's a Scouser. I'm glad to see him back. We've said this for a few weeks now. I'm glad to see him back enjoying his footy and getting to show the world what he can do without it constantly being, oh, here comes someone else is going to put him under defensive pressure, blah, blah, blah. Enjoy him as a football player.
You get to enjoy him as a footy player, absolutely spot on, but you get to see him defend, and then it's weird because now when he's coming back, and he makes like a last-ditch tackle or an interception, and you're like, get in, Trent. And it's like, he was getting nothing for that from us.
It's like he feels more comfortable, I think, in that role.
It's like he can just do it, and it might be that he's just not as far away from right back as he was. Because sometimes you go down that wing and you could be 30, 40 yards away from where you need to get to, whereas he might be 20, 30 yards away.
Or, alternatively, it's a lot closer to centre for him to run into centre-half to cover while that guy shuts over.
Fabinho did that a couple of times last night, dropping in so that you could make it a flat back four and Trent stayed in the 6 and stuff as well. And as you say, he can drop in and somebody can move over and stuff like that. So that fluidity, that sort of total football, but in a defensive sense, might be something that we're looking to do in the future.
And it's dead basic, mate. But like, give the best player the ball as often as you can. Like we might have underestimated it because he was playing right back. He might be the best player.
Yeah,
he genuinely might be. Like, we're going to sign midfielders this summer. If we can get someone who's good on the ball, as in we've done amazingly well. There might not be anyone. There might, there's 2 or 3 in the league. Maybe Kevin De Bruyne is who's the only one who I think I can make an apt comparison with. Who you can just give the ball to, and he can do absolutely anything with it. So it makes sense. Give him it as often as you can. That past the gap you referenced was outrageous. Yeah. But everything he did, just time and time again, he's so. It's not the fact that he can do it all. He picks the right one. Yeah. 85% of the time. Because when you've got every single part, you can go long, short, left, right, backwards. You can do whatever you want with it, and you can do it. So you might get it might go. I've got 5 people here. Very rarely does he choose the wrong option, which is again in itself is a skill. I think. Was it 5 assists now in 4 games since we started putting him in there? Outrageous numbers. And listen, if you extrapolate that over a season, it might just be a purple patch, but my God, the fella's he's breaking assist records again, isn't he, straight away, and doing it in a different way. It's just mad because we've watched Jurgen's Liverpool for so long, and we've all got like an understanding of what to expect and blah blah blah. What I'm enjoying about this is I see recognisable things it's coming in different ways, but I'm learning something new about this team every game they play now. I don't actually have the answers. I don't know. I think there's still like big questions to be answered on how does X, Y, and Z work. The Matip thing being the covering centre half was one of them. That doesn't totally answer that, but I know more information about that. Navos, we saw Thiago's come on it as a replacement for Fabinho in the last few weeks, but then he comes on effectively for Jordan Henderson on the right hand side. I didn't know that he could do that, but that's another new piece of information. That's what we're kind of getting, and it's been able to kind of reboot everyone's interest in watching the game in that regard as well. Yeah, I think if we look at it in the sense of like Klopp's mind, I kind of feel like Klopp's trying to do these. Obviously, he's seen that the past games we haven't done so well, so he's kind of gone right. Okay, sat back and gone. Okay, what can we do now? Obviously, he's now playing Trent, so he's saying to him to get over into that central role, which is starting to work, I think, and obviously with that as well, with Fabinho and Thiago, and then obviously him going onto the right-hand side and stuff. I feel like Klopp's just trying to sort of figure things out at the minute, and I think if we give it time, obviously right now we can see it is working, over these past few games. But imagine. This is what I'm saying, in like a season's time, and he's got it clicked, and, if we do make these signings in the summer or whatever, I just think, I think we're going to be unstoppable. I think you're right there. It feels like he knows what he wants Liverpool to do. And what Klopp always loves, I think, is that versatility from his players. So the Thiago thing is like, where are you best? Because we've all thought it, like, can Thiago play those things? I said, I think it was on last week's Thursday Night Pint, I think he can play an advanced role. Not for a second, considering the right-hand side, by the way. Not for a single second. Yeah. Because Thiago can't play on the right-hand side. Thiago can very much do whatever the fuck he wants. Whenever the fuck he wants, quite honestly. And he's Thiago can kick a ball from 20 yards out in a downward volley and it not touch the floor and score with it. So, Yeah. Thiago can defy gravity with a football. Yeah. Go ahead, Sands. So we can play the right hand side. Would you say he's wicked? I would say he's wicked. I do not get the joke. There's no effort either, is there, with him? That's the thing as well. That's what's so good about it. He is a very cool guy. Yeah, there's just no effort. I think it's suiting Curtis Jones. He's doing the best Gini Wijnaldum impression I've seen someone do since Gini Wijnaldum left. He is just like, he is the facilitator of he runs his nuts off. He holds her up when he can. And he just gives it to the good lads. That's what Gini Wijnaldum did for so long. Mm-hmm. In the 4-3-3, I didn't think he was great at it. But this new system, for whatever reason, maybe it's just the positions of the pitch he can take up. Maybe the fact that he's closer to a couple of the left winger and the striker, maybe. But that's what he's doing. It's give him a new lease of life. It's made Cody Gakpo look more likely to get himself on the ball as well, because Trent just keeps finding him. He can drop into the holes. So I think it's really suiting a few players. There's a couple lads who I think it doesn't suit. I don't think it's doing Jordan any favours. The way he played that first, that he was getting legged everywhere. Like, I don't know anyone who's going to fancy that job, really. Mason Mount better bring his oxygen mask with him, you know what I mean? Because he's going to be legged around downfield for a few times when he gets out there. But that's the thing with Jaeger. He's always done it. You know, there'll be lads who are asked to. You're like the facilitators for the superstars. Yeah. And I think credit to Jones. Like, I think Alexander Arnold's been the main beneficiary, I think, of this changing system. But Curtis Jones might be second. I think it's really brought him in. He's in the team now. No one's arguing. He starts over Thiago yesterday, and no one's heads have fell off
again.
Before was like, imagine if I'd be saying 2 months ago, Thiago's fit and firing, but Curtis Jones is playing every game. We haven't
done that at all under Jürgen, really, where one of these the proper established lads comes back to fitness, Chris, and he normally just goes straight back in, and that's been Thiago as well. Thiago has always come back into this team. The idea that Curtis Jones has been keeping him on the periphery, and look, that might change. This might just be part of making sure Thiago is right, so he can go for the last 5 games of the season, flat out. But I don't know. I
think Steve's right. I think it's Curtis's shirt to lose now, and I think he's doing a great job of keeping that shirt. The system suits him perfectly. Do a deep dive show with Josh Williams on it tomorrow. It should be out tomorrow evening and stuff on Curtis Jones in this formation, because that was something that we thought as well, mate. We really thought he was a massive beneficiary of it after Trent Alexander-Arnold, and so yeah, we sort of hypothesise around this on the show tomorrow and all that. But he's been absolutely brilliant, and I think I say in the show, like, you know, do you see him there long term? We ask the questions and we try and answer those questions, but right now, if not, he is the first name on the team sheet type of a player in this formation, maybe second name on the team sheet. He might not be the starter next season, but you damn well know he's going to be a brilliant understudy if he's not. And I think that's where we're probably at with him.
It's funny you mentioned that. I've been doing some work on a couple of things to go out probably late this week, early next, about, like, again, reconstructing Liverpool's midfield and blah blah blah. And what you want to get to a world is that Liverpool do need to go heavy in the transfer market. They still do.
You can't use Jones as an excuse not to sign a midfielder, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you need 2 for every position. At the moment, it doesn't really look like we've got another in that role that Curtis is playing at the moment, and that might be a question that that's answered in the next couple of weeks. We might see Elliott over there in a game or so, and all of a sudden, hey, that's Elliott's new position, etc. But if you could go and plug, like, I don't know, like, just say an Alexis McAllister into the squad as an example, and then it's him and Curtis fighting out for that place, that's sound. That's good, because that...
Unlucky Curtis.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
It's true, though.
But it's a removal of this world where Liverpool players have to play 55 games a season.
It's true.
Yeah.
And also, it's... I do put something, the fact that he is scouts means a lot to me. It might be different because people watch us from all over the world, but it is for me. If there's 2 lads with the exact same ability and one's scouts and one's not, I'd pick the scouts lad. You know what I mean? Like, if they're the exact same... Now, Alexis McAllister's a different kettle of fish. He would start, but then if your backup is Curtis Jones in this, like, as he's been for the last month, then that's absolutely fine. If it's because we were at a stage not only where we thought we were going to have to go and buy stars, you might have to also buy squad players. It was at a point where there was doubts whether Curtis Jones was going to be a squad player. I think he's had a month to maybe try and prove himself.
It was great seeing Klopp talk about him in the post-match, wasn't it? Yeah. You know, he said, like, you know, Curtis is in there because of his pressing and the defensive stability that he's offering us, and that's something that maybe you can read into that Thiago might not offer us. You know, it's something that he's clearly doing, he's definitely doing something better than other players in training.
Yeah.
And Klopp spoke about that, and I think that'll give Curtis a little nod as well.
He hasn't started 5 Premier League games back to back. I just had a look at this since
18-19.
2021.
Oh really?
Yeah, February 2021 was a run of games he started, and we lost most of them. He started the City game when we get beat 4-1 at home. Started the away defeat to Leicester. Yeah, will that be the Ozan Kabak game? Starts the Merseyside derby, starts Sheffield United, starts Chelsea, and then he doesn't play for the next 5 after the back of that. And we might see that happen again, but this is a point about a guy's development. He's then hit by tons of injuries last season and the start of this season. He's 22 years old. There's plenty of time for him to continue to be a competitive member of this side, I reckon. I think the difference, Navos, between this and the Leeds game in some respects, because it's closer in scoreline, West Ham, I think, are in a false position in the league. I think they're better than relegation scrappers.
Are you talking a direct comparison with Leeds, or did you mean Forest?
No, I mean Leeds because of the away results. Because to go away, batter Leeds with everything that happens, and then to do this same type of system. The first half an hour is kind of similar. It is Liverpool knocking the ball around, loads of possession and whatever. Yeah, but West Ham have got. I think Jared Bowen has a really good game. I think Paqueta has a really good game. Declan Rice is a good player. Ben Rama gave them some troubles down that side, and that's I think we've looked at West Ham a little bit and gone, well, these are in a relegation fight. From watching them, they're at best, they're at worst, I think, a mid-table side, and in reality, the amount of quality they've got, they should be. Look, they're a Conference League team from last season. They are better than they are, which is why it was a more difficult game ultimately than the Leeds one.
Listen, I mean, I think if you're looking at West Ham as individuals, the individuals they've got there, obviously like Paqueta and people like that, like even like Cresswell, they work the socks off. There's no and I feel like, as you say, that it doesn't kind of sit right. Leeds being where they are, and obviously them being where they are, but obviously football's football at the end of the day, and
But they This is I say, Chris. This is a good team. This is a good West Ham team. And look, we don't like Moyes, and we laugh at Moyes' expense, and we should do because he was Everton manager. He was a manager who proved you don't need trophies to be a winner. Ultimately,
He might win one this season.
Yeah, wouldn't that be hilarious?
A European one.
We had this conversation at the match the other day of
there's no way they're winning.
Everton managers that have gone on to be better having left Everton.
All of them except Frank Lampard.
Yeah, and possibly I mean. Jordi Alton, whatever Benitez does next, will be telling on this.
Hang on a minute. The Frank Lampard thing.
Yeah.
I know he's lost like 5 games for Chelsea, but that actually still might not be as many as he lost in a row for Everton. So he might actually be better by not winning any games. He's just not had the chance to prove that he's worse yet.
I think it's 16 of his last 19 games as a manager have been defeats.
Yeah.
Not going well.
I don't think he gels as. I mean, don't get me wrong, as a player, fantastic, but I just don't think he's all that as a manager. He's
a little bit mixed messages in his press conference, and I'm guessing he's a little bit mixed messages when he's talking to his team as well.
I just hope that he's smiling at the happy parts and smiling at the sad parts when he's trying to explain how aggressive to be in a particular match. So they don't think, oh, he's taking the piss. I don't need to go committed for this tackle because he was smiling at this point, and then he's going, yeah, and stick it in the back of the net. And no,
it's ridiculous.
It's so funny. It's like some sort of the change.
It's like a TikTok video where someone's moved his facial expression.
Yeah. It's a media training switch being engaged is what it is. It's like, here I am, I'm a human being and I've got personality, click, but I've also had 15 years of media training that makes sure that I can't say anything of any personality. Brilliant. Just quickly before we move on, bring this part to an end, I want to chat Cody Gakpo, Steve. You touched upon him earlier.
I did.
Star. Absolute star.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I started saying I'd always have Salah, I'd always have Jota in my team, and it's up to everyone else to try and work the way in it. Well, Cody Gakpo's doing a great job of maybe keeping the other space or knocking Diogo Jota out of it. His half turn, it is just outrageous. No one stops him doing it. Every single time he takes the ball on the turn, he's so comfortable with it. He is like the goal. I don't think we haven't got a player who shoots from there ever.
Yeah.
Who shoots from there? No one. We just don't do it, and maybe we should because
Well, I said last night. I said it was a Torres goal. You just people think about Torres centre forward. Yeah, you watch Fernando Torres' best goals for Liverpool, and there's tons of outside the box, and we don't think of that as a number 9 thing to do. Everyone goes, number 9, inside 6-yard box, penalty spot kind of thing. Torres would just take 2 yards, accelerate, and smash it into the bottom corner. Yeah. No messing around. Nothing's on. Go ahead, I'm entitled to have a dig because I'm the number 9.
Yeah, and when I was obviously first, I watched it at home, and at first I thought, goalie should save that. My initial reaction was Fabianski should have saved that.
That's because you hate goalkeepers.
Yeah, in general, usually. And then it turns out he was nowhere near that. Yeah. You're right. I think goalie should save pretty much everything.
Did you think Alisson should save last night?
Yeah, I do. And I think Aaron Ramsdale could have saved a couple of the City ones as well. I'm quite harsh critic. I think Alisson should have saved the Robertson one after the Nico Williams one. Honestly. I blame goalies for everything.
What did you get him?
It's gone in.
What did you get in physics at GCSE?
I don't think Fabianski could have saved that one. That's my point. At first glance, I thought you shouldn't be able to score from there.
What did you get in biology?
I got a degree in that.
Fucking hell.
No, that's technically no, that's a lie. I got an A-level biology.
Is it?
And
No, you can't CV us, mate.
Wait,
listen.
What you put on your CV to your mates.
No, I got my A-level in
Excellent Microsoft Office skills.
My A-level in biology got me.
I work well on my own or equally as part of the team.
Okay, A-level biology. I did a degree in sports science, which is
What did you get at A-level biology?
an A.
An A in A-level biology?
Yeah, and then I did sports science degree, got a 2-1. I was quite...
You didn't answer me physics.
I was quite intoxicated in uni. In physics, I've got no idea. I didn't do it, so I've got no idea. Anyway, back to my point. You look at that and you just think, that just should never go in. And then they showed behind the goal camera, it's like, wow, it was expertly placed, and he drilled it. Because I think, again, you guys were working, so I had Steve McManaman on my commentary, and he was going, I wonder if it took a bounce away from Fabianski. I was like, nah, never. It was just perfectly directed right into the corner, and he's... Nottingham Forest game aside, because I don't think that's the type of game where I think he might struggle if against a park bus, because I think he needs space, and he looked like he operates best when he's got
Go and find it, space. Got to go and find
space. And he just didn't. He struggled against Forest in that regard, but in these type of games where it might be a bit open and he can drop deeper and effectively at number 10 type position, he's got the ability to go back to Chris point from the versatility before. He can do 3 or 4. He played right wing a bit yesterday, didn't he? When the subs happened, we've seen him play as a 10. We've seen him go front. We've seen him play out on the left. And what's interesting that every time he moves into a position, I think that could be his role. He's good there, and that's obviously a positive, because I do think ultimately he's the Roberto Firmino replacement at number 9. But the fact that he can get himself in the side as a 10, as a left winger, as a right winger, he looks like he could play in midfield. Yeah. He's got a lot going for him.
And we saw that, Navos, in terms of where everyone was. There's times where Jota's cropping up on the right. Luis Diaz nominally comes on, plays on the left, but he drifts centrally, he drifts into the 10, he drifts into the 9. When you've got a bunch of players who can do that, then how are you meant to pick them up? That's how they're going to break down stubborn defences, is to just basically bamboozle everyone that's around them.
Yeah, honestly, I think give it, I'd say, until middle of next season. I'm telling you now, honestly, those 5 players, honestly, that front 3, I think, is just going to be ridiculous. And obviously the backups we've got, whoever's going to start and whoever's going to be on the bench, it's just honestly, once they glue and obviously Núñez settles in, Gakpo settles in properly, you can just tell, even just them two, Núñez and Gakpo, like, honestly, they're going to be, I think, next level.
Yeah, Gakpo for me is the one. I think I like Núñez, and I do think he's going to be something. I'm not sure this formation particularly suits him. He's a little change of pace for me at the moment, and that's a good thing as well, by the way. Gakpo, though, just unbelievable. So just when you were talking, I just want to... you've mentioned Wijnaldum, and we're talking about front 3s, and you sort of think about Mane. And do you know what? I had this realisation this morning, or maybe it was last night, I can't remember, was that, when your dad talks about like the 80s teams, and you realise that he just can't let it go. I realised that team is going to be the team that I'm talking about in 20 years' time. Yeah. The one that we've just finished watching. Because I've never had it before. We've been doing Redmen for 13 years, right? And never have we harked back to a side so much.
Istanbul, but always like, it was great that we won in Istanbul.
Now it's like... Wijnaldum. Every show we mention Wijnaldum's fucking name. He's not played for us for near 2 years. Yeah. And I'm thinking about Mane when you're talking, and it's just so annoying that this team has gone. Yeah. I just want them back. I want to watch them again. They were the best thing I've ever seen. And I know in 30 years' time, my daughters, and hopefully I've got grandkids and stuff, I can't wait to tell my white Wijnaldum the facilitator in the middle of the park that no one gives a shit about. I really can't wait to tell him.
Granddad, he never scored. Where's the assist? And you're like, I'm telling you,
that's to me there.
Never lost the ball, big ass, turn round. You've got to watch him like Ronnie Whelan.
Molly was great.
Ask your great granddad about Ronnie Whelan. I agree with that. But every great Liverpool side has had 2 sides. Effectively, you think about Bob Paisley does the rebuild. Kenny Dalglish inherits the side, wins the double, and then does the rebuild as well. So you're right. There's a chance that we'll actually, in 30 years, we will we'll probably be talking about this like it's the same team because we've lived
Well,
throughout
hopefully
it.
they get good again then.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Is that if the rebuild goes the way that it looks like it's going, I'm confident that it'll go. You might not. You might not see it as that was the end of that team. It feels like that now because it feels like we've fallen off a cliff. But actually, that one season gap, if we come back to being a team that challenges again next season, will be absolutely nothing. Because in theory, there was a season gap between us winning the Premier League and then nearly going for the quadruple, and actually we put there was a few players who joined that team as well who will probably be more considered part of this side than the side that went before it. We were chatting before, but I've done this a heavy feature on the 18-19 team, and it's kind of mad.
So you're talking about it on your channel as well. See, this is my point. We can't let go.
It's kind of mad how many players are in that squad that you'd forget were in that squad. And there's a amount of players that didn't join until a couple of years on that you now consider to be part and parcel of it. Yeah.
And then also, of course, I'll be like, and there's your Uncle Paul. Wait for this goal from Alisson and watch what Uncle Paul did. Whipped his top off, flung around, jumps onto his knees.
What a day that was.
Oh, my word.
What a day indeed. Big love to Marcus Ward, who has just joined us as a first team member here on YouTube. Absolutely splendid. Thank you so much. Keep your thoughts on everything coming in, indeed. It was a great question here really early on, and I need to drag it back up again because I think it's a very, very important question.
Are you filling for time? It's a very, very, very important
really
question.
Really important question.
That you lost.
That I have misplaced because it updated while I was looking for it. Oh, fuck. Yes, there we go. Quad pods.
Yeah, fuck quad pod.
Just
Sorry,
asked,
I thought we were all saying it.
Is Haaland Norwegian for spam face? I think that's he's an odd-looking human being.
Do you know? I think
he's a robot.
He just.
Are we sure?
When he's got his hair down, there's something really wrong with him.
Are we
just saying.
I thought that yesterday.
It's just horrible.
Yeah.
Are we
Put
sure
it down
he
those
wasn't
last 5 minutes, I was like,
what the fuck is
put
it?
your hair up.
Well, why
it's
is
strange.
How's he done it like that? I've got no idea.
Are we sure he wasn't like genetically modified in a lab?
Okay.
No, if he was genetically modified in a lab, he'd have normal fucking hair. It's weird, mate, when he puts his hair down.
That's what they fucked up on.
Yeah,
that was the one thing they couldn't do.
That's the proof that he isn't real. Because if they were making him in a lab, but he
give him Barbie's hair. That's what we've come to.
Like the girls' wear one where it's just the heads with the hair on it. Yeah.
You know what it looks like? You know if you look at his haircut as well, it looks like, remember those with the Legos used to get? You could pop the hair off.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like if you look at just like a straight line. And then it's just.
He looks a bit like a cobra with hair.
Yeah.
He looks like a
would you be shocked if he
looks like a
wasn't?
mutated cow, let's be perfectly honest.
Would you be shocked if he wasn't human? If they did like a DNA test on him and there was like 10% like alien? Because he is a
at the risk, I don't want to. It's not long finish, so I don't want to do any like Mandalorian spoilers. But the idea, if you were going into a lab to craft something, you'd pull DNA to give it as many things going as possible. And I reckon the failed Haaland experiments that took he's probably like Haaland 10.52 or something, you know what I mean? They've gone through all these ones, and it's like
the prestige. 9.4.
Just in the back of like the woodshed.
That there was been some kind of Haaland sort of Incredibles style thing where his dad might have been version 1 and they got it wrong.
Yeah, but more a bit like the prestige kind of thing where there's like out the back of his dad's log cabin in like the forest somewhere, there's just a pile of bones of all these like failed Haaland freaks.
Is that just wanking off in the woods basically and then making them from his semen?
What the fuck?
How did we get here? Wow, okay.
Let's have a break. Let's have a break and recompose, reset, and we shall return.
Alfie Inga with an arm like Popeye. Just like
when we get back, we're going to be talking ranking Liverpool's most hated rival players.
So that wasn't what you were saying, Paul?
Stay tuned. Hey, stop what you're doing right now. Prepare yourself, prepare your family, prepare your kids, prepare your babysitters, because on Friday the 5th of May, we are having a quiz night, party night at Hotel Anfield, and the tickets are available right now, but your time to get them is running very, very short. If you like Liverpool trivia, if you like Liverpool songs, if you like just laughter and happiness in your life, then come down to Hotel Anfield on Friday the 5th of May. The tickets are available right now on Ticket Quarter. The link will be there or thereabouts. Get involved, get your tickets bought, and come and party with us. It's going to be Liverpool trivia, it's going to be Liverpool games, Liverpool challenges, going to be amazing prizes on offer, and Dave Jaggs from the Ragamuffins is going to be playing live music as well. So come and join me, Chris Pajak, for the biggest party night in advance of the Liverpool-Brentford game. And yeah, maybe you win yourself some boss prizes, have a good time, and put some smiles back on some red faces. Hey, welcome back to Thursday Night Pint. We are going to be ranking Liverpool's most hated rival players. Yes, I mean, just looking at the list entirely from the Premier League era, because we'd really struggle to do beyond that. You can send alternative names in using the comment section underneath, and you can help us where we're going to be ranking them. We've got 5 places up for grabs, and much like we did on the previous show with Liverpool cult heroes, only one of these players can be the ultimate most hated rival player. Right, Steve.
Hi.
Chris, Navos, you've got the board.
We do.
Consideration points here. Memorable moments, chants or songs, universally hated or specifically Liverpool, and is the feeling mutual? So, Navos, you asked me the question via text earlier. What did the universally hated thing mean? And just to clarify on that, it's is it a player that just the whole of football hates, like Cristiano Ronaldo? As an example, I know there's a lot that like him, but you take my point. Or is it a Liverpool thing, a player that we have a deep-rooted hatred for, no one else really has that antipathy towards? That's
I'm going to go with my own ranking system of how much would I like to punch him in the face.
Okay, well, we're going to start. First player is Sergio Ramos.
I would like to punch him in the face.
He's got to be up there.
Let's do the same as we did last week. Put him at 1 and see who can knock him off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's up there.
I mean,
just for the jiu-jitsu Mo Salah move, put him in the conversation straight away.
Yeah.
He's universally hated because he went from Real Madrid to PSG, so everyone else hates him.
Yeah.
In that regard, the Mo Salah incident's the big one.
Referees hate him because
He's a cock as well, just a big fat cock of a man.
He's played for Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain, and that in general makes me dislike people more.
Yeah.
What were the other categories?
Especially playing for Paris Saint-Germain.
Well, there's no chant or song about him.
Play against
and
him,
he is,
bad,
and if we're saying universally hated, there is a specific Liverpool hatred there, Navos, because as Steve mentioned, the Real Madrid, the Real Madrid's Champions League final 17-18, and the fouls injury to Mo Salah. So I think he will be high up most people's list.
I don't personally think it's a universal thing though.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what you think.
I think he's well respected, isn't he?
That's the thing. I think
he's won too much for people to like.
For us,
not respect him.
Obviously, with the Salah thing, I think that's what really pushed us over the edge. And I think people do think he's an idiot because on the pitch he is. But I think people outside of Liverpool have got a respect for him.
I had that before that final. Because he used to always get sent off, and he was gnarly, and he was like the dark arts and the shithousery.
He was a football manager staple for can play centre half and right back, young, pacey. Right,
do with him now.
What?
Could do with him now, a young Sergio Ramos.
But then flip side is, he jiu-jitsu style flips Mo Salah and breaks his arm.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Well, let's keep him high for now. I think that makes perfect sense. Right, we're going to go back to the early days of the Premier League with Eric Cantona.
Oh yeah. He universal, definitely. Everyone hates Eric Cantona.
Everyone hates Eric Cantona.
He goes above Sergio Ramos for me.
But has he got the moments?
He's just a prick.
Has he got the moments that Ramos had against us?
This is an important
cup
question.
Final goal hurt.
Yeah.
But that wasn't him being a villain. That was just him being boss of footy.
Coming back,
and then being better.
Mate, I remember they fiddled it so that his first game back from his ban was us. Yeah. And he scores a pen. That was what those dodges. He definitely did that on the sly. They did that with Rio Ferdinand that time when they moved the game back.
Is that Cantona though, or is that the game?
And then he scored and swung around the post. Yeah, I hated him.
But taking out our best player at the time, and then sending him off in a way that he did.
He also kicked someone in the stands
But that was Palace, wasn't it?
No, that's when I'm going back to the universal thing.
Well, listen, I think that's the point on the Cantona stuff. I think he's high, but I don't think.
I think he was hated because he was boss.
Yeah, I don't think he did anything to us worse than what Sergio Ramos.
I mean, he did score a cup final goal against us.
Mm-hmm.
I just think though injuring the best player.
I can go with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's high, and I
you know what?
I've
got a story on this one. I was in year 4, and I was one of the only people left in class who couldn't swim in swimming class. And my
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, no. I'm not athletically gifted. My teacher taught me kick the water hard like you're kicking out of Cantona, and then I started to swim.
Well done.
So maybe that's
So you've got a deeper feeling towards
kick the water like you hate out of Cantona.
This is a specifically Steve hatred.
I can imagine you karate kicking from the side and just jumping into the pool like Cantona did into the stands. No, that's not it. That's just diving into the pool doing a karate kick.
Is this why your ankles are so bad?
Putting an imaginary collar up as I did it. When I did it.
I must admit, I quite like the collar up.
And he had the advert, didn't he, of what?
I suppose actually because of the anti-English sort of sentiment of it, that whole 1966 was a great year for English football. Eric was born advert was pretty funny at the time, but yeah, no. There's Man United players I think who are higher up on that list.
I hate Cantona more than Ramos, but with the categories you've given us, I think Ramos fits the bill more.
Okay, let's go for another Manchester United player and see how he fares. Bruno Fernandes.
Mate, honestly, I think he goes above Sergio.
Go on, Navos, you literally said...
I said to him before, I said, honestly, his name gets mentioned and he's going to... Is there any higher than 1?
There's a chance
Mate,
he goes 1 and doesn't move.
I hate him. I can't stand him. I just think he's cocky. I just think he's just horrible. And he's diving all the time. Like, I mean, obviously,
you
I know
haven't
that.
Got any, gigs coming up in Manchester, have you?
No.
Good.
But
maybe never again.
Portugal, maybe.
No, mate, I can't stand him. I really can't. And to be honest with you, it's like well known, like to my mates and people who I work with and stuff. I hate him. I can't stand him.
Honestly, I'm with you.
Yeah,
he goes above Ramos.
But I also though I don't know what it. Kind of know what it is.
That's it.
It's just horrible.
That's it. It's a universal.
Yeah.
Everything I see from him, it's that.
Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine you saw him in real life.
Them.
No, but I got to say, things like I spoke to Darren Huckabee years ago and went, mate, you ruined one of my birthdays because he scored the goals that knocked out the FA Cup, and he went, good. I had a great day. One of my greatest moments. They're going to Anfield and knocking it, and I was like, all right, yeah, fair enough. Imagine going to Bruno Fernandes and going, I really hate you because...
Everything about him, even like the way he looks, annoys me.
What do you think he looks like?
A rat.
A rat, yeah.
Like a Chihuahua rat.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I completely agree. I can't.
He goes 1. If I'm voting, he goes 1 for
honestly,
me.
there's not.
And there's
many
only
players.
1 player. There's one more in the Premier League currently. I hate maybe is equally, and I'll decide when I get there. But for me at the moment, he goes straight in.
There's just not many players that I can think of in my head that I think about and just go, I don't even want to see his face.
He infuriates me.
There's no one in the world that I think that of. I don't know what it is about him.
He infuriates me when I'm just watching footy games that he's in, and it's nothing to do with us. And I could be watching the highlights of like Portugal against like Hungary and fucking Flanders.
Yeah. So Liverpool,
honestly,
Liverpool were linked with
because of him.
Yeah,
we were linked with him quite heavily for a while, and we even played Sporting in pre-season in New York.
3-1, wasn't it?
We drew that game because we shared the Western Union Cup. But I do wonder whether that feeling would if we'd signed him, do you think you'd still have that?
I think we'd love him.
I think it's a bit Suarez-y.
Yeah.
Man United fans love him because he's their prick.
Yeah.
But he's a prick.
It's like Evertonians hate Andy Robertson.
Yeah.
But there's probably nothing specifically that he's done. It's just that if you're looking for someone who represents
just
your
proper,
hatred of a football team.
Shithousery.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Okay, cool.
So he's not that good either. Okay. That's what annoys me as well. It's like people think he's fucking amazing.
Absolute.
He's not that good.
Him and Patrick Bamford are the captains of the COVID team. Just absolute, the behind closed doors all-stars. Yeah. There's Patrick Bamford.
They're playing a Man City kid.
Honestly, Patrick Bamford and him are the superstars of it. They were brilliant when no one was there. I hate him.
Okay. Is he above both of them?
Yeah.
For me, yeah.
He's definitely above Cantona for me. I don't think he's above Sergio Ramos.
Well, I'll give it to the guests. I'll give it to Navos.
If there's a tie, Navos gets the deciding vote. So
Yeah.
there you go, 1. I'm in for that.
I can't see me pick anybody else. I'm not gonna lie.
He does have a very punchable face, doesn't he?
He does.
Okay.
Don't aim for the teeth, though, mate. You'll have to get a tetanus.
Well, see, here's someone for me who falls into a very similar category.
I think this is going to be the one who I hate as well, maybe more.
Bernardo Silva.
Can't bear him.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's running at number 1.
I think he's not even in the same
Sings
league as
about
Bruno
our
Fernandes.
fans
Yeah.
on a fucking plane when it's got nothing to do with us.
Didn't clap the guard of honour.
Didn't clap the guard of honour. And he's good as well.
Yeah.
And that makes me hate him more. Plays for a team that I absolutely despise. Always seems to play well against us. Got that bit of that ratty look about him as well.
Very punchable.
Punchable face. Absolute cockhead.
Do you know what? I seen him in the airport picking up somebody, and he was sat in his car, and I remember walking past his car, and then once go, oh look, it's Bernardo Silva. I just looked at him and was like, I want to smash your windows in. So that's
Did you have a bottle of Copperberg ahead of the
honestly,
Where was you on the night of the Champions League semi-final? Was anybody at the Anfield Road?
oh yeah.
With tinnies.
But honestly, yeah. I didn't.
Remember when he told us all to go and read the book?
Yeah, he's above.
To be honest with you, I didn't think I would top, but I didn't remember that his name was in it. So
I have no feeling about Bruno Fernandes, but Bernardo Silva does my head in.
I think I might move Fernandes next to Ramos.
Okay.
And then go Bernardo 1.
Can you just hold that up a touch, Cecil, because somewhat obscure.
Where are we? There you go. There you go. So as it stands, Bernardo's top. We've got Ramos and Fernandes, and then King Eric.
Okie dokie. Right, the first and only ex-Liverpool player on this list. Raheem Sterling.
Nah, see, I don't dislike Raheem Sterling really. I used to boo him because it made them play shit.
Yeah.
His head used to fall off at Anfield, but I didn't like the way he left. I understood why he wanted to leave. I didn't agree with the way he did it, but I've never really hated Raheem Sterling.
We have this conversation often, Chris, because we got to do some work with him, and he's actually a really sound fella, and he was brilliant with us. He was a Liverpool player at the time, which obviously helped. But when we're talking about this like rivalry of a footballer, there's not many players in my lifetime that we at Liverpool have booed so vociferously when they get every touch of the football. The angry, like vitriolic noise generated by Anfield whenever he would touch the ball. That's why he's on the list.
Yeah. But we did it for Suarez. You just don't play them as often.
Yeah.
And I would say that no one really hates Suarez. I think it is the fact that we played, and the way that he left is the big one for me. I think the problem why it hurts me is he was fucking right.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that annoys me about that.
Yeah.
And he did go on and win more trophies than he would have if he'd have stayed with us.
Yeah.
I think you think about the team we had at the time as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like there's no comparison really.
So he was right, and I'd have him down at 5 because I did meet him, and that does make a difference to me. And he was boss with us.
I do think at the time as well when he played for us, and obviously the few years after when he went to City, I just think he was a quality footballer as well.
I personally
can't deny it. He was,
and he does boss stuff for the community and stuff as well. And I know about that because I've always sort of followed him online and stuff as well. So
yeah.
I booed him because...
I booed him as well.
Well, we booed him the first time and his head fell off. I'm like, fucking hell, let's do that again. He's a threat otherwise. Because
he was mad because there was no right situation to use him in a game. If you started them, then it would help whip the crowd up from minute 1. And if you brought him on, if City had managed to quieten us down, it just riled us straight back up again. Just thought it was interesting that, again, in terms of an individual player having that kind of reaction, I don't think any other player on that list gets that as hard or would have that kind of reaction coming into Anfield.
Do you know what? This is probably controversial. I actually hate Coutinho more for the way that he feigned injury with it all. At least Sterling was fucking up front and did it, and that's just my opinion, but Coutinho was an absolute shithouse when he did it and started, it's backache and all that crap.
Okay. Another current player, England captain, England top goal scorer, Harry Kane.
Oh, I don't hate Harry Kane.
I have no feelings towards Harry Kane.
No, I wouldn't even put him on the board. He's just a good player who annoys you because he annoys me because obviously the There's a bit of there's the diving and there's the backing into players and there's the I want to score at all costs. But I've got no personal victory off Harry Kane.
He is not universally hated either. He is absolutely adored by everyone who's English that isn't Scouse.
Yeah.
I don't
Because
know.
he's there. Yeah, but they still love him in England. They do. They genuinely do. They do. You just have to look at what Robbie and DR Sports and everything were doing and the way they were whipping up a frenzy when England were getting to, not win trophies. They loved him.
Got to get them World Cup views in. I have no, like Tottenham Hotspur, I have no feelings towards him or that football club. I think he's a bell end.
Yeah.
And so I can see that if he played for a football club I cared about negatively, I would loathe him. So I get why, like, again, Arsenal fans would hate him and vice. They have that the back and forth between Spurs and
I
Arsenal.
probably hate more that he gets decisions that other players don't because of who he is, rather than actually him.
Okay.
Does he even go on the board?
If he played for Manchester United, would that change?
Oh, I hate him.
Yeah. We might have this conversation in a year.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't think I'm with you. I don't
I'm
think you've got a place
ambivalent
on
to
the
Harry
board,
Kane. I
to be
just think he's
honest,
dead good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Let's
expecting
go
that to happen.
for a former player, rival player and manager, Frank Lampard.
Oh, God. I kind of don't feel sorry for him, a little bit.
That's the thing. Now these past 2 years have been hard for him, man.
Did you hate Frank Lampard when he played for Chelsea?
Yes. Yes.
Only, but
Despised him because Gerrard was better. It was like someone in 1996 telling me that Blair were better than Oasis. You're just fucking wrong. You know what I mean? I hated those people who liked Blair, and I actually quite like Blair nowadays. But back then,
probably
right in
hindsight,
and they were
yeah.
probably better.
I never hated him. I just thought he was dead good. He used to annoy me because he'd score all the time against us and he'd play well against us. But like, I felt the same about Drogba and I felt the same about like just that Mourinho team.
I hated Drogba though because again, same thing. He just died on the
Yeah,
floor.
It just used to wind me up. Sorry, it just used to wind me up when like the Chelsea fans that go to now Lampard's better than Gerrard. But like, is he though?
Yeah.
He's not though.
Is he though?
What would he's just a fucking shot merchant, is what they'd call him nowadays, or something mad like that, isn't it? Doesn't do anything.
Long range
but he was
merchant.
brilliant at it. Like, don't get me wrong, and right place, right time. The system suited him and all that type of stuff. But he just wasn't as good a midfielder, all rounder as Steven Gerrard. And that's why I hate him.
Does he even go on the board?
Yeah, he's got to go on the board because he managed Everton.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
Where about though? 5?
I hate him more than Sterling, mate.
Yeah, so I'll say 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I had no animosity towards Frank Lampard. If anything, he's just a really good
Back
man.
to the 90s.
I tell you what, Drogba, Costa. There's a load of Chelsea players that I hate above
I hope
Lampard,
he's on
by
this
the way.
board because I put him on above Bernardo Silva.
The first on the board who did have a chant from the cop, Duncan Ferguson.
Oh, yeah. In for a week and out for a month. In for a week and out for a month. In for a week and out for a month. Big Duncan is a tampon.
Absolutely.
I like him now,
I love that,
I like him now. That's the difference.
Because he's vegan and he's a Forest Green man.
I like the video when he told the lad to go and do his own work.
Yeah.
But can't he be having that? He seems like a good guy.
He is a nice guy, isn't he?
He's been here, because I've met him here.
But as a player,
I absolutely
he was
hated
the
him.
one I hated the most in
Because
the 90s.
he epitomised Everton and what they stood for.
Because he was shit.
No.
But he was crap.
But they gravitated
because
towards
we had
him.
so my best mates were Evertonians and they adored it. He was the idol.
Yeah.
Every Evertonian in the 90s, it was Duncan Ferguson. It was Fowler for us and it was Ferguson. And Robbie Fowler was this like generationally gifted god of a footballer. And Duncan Ferguson was just this violent brute. And the fact that he got out of prison and all this kind of stuff, he punched people on the pitch. That's what they liked about him. And I just thought that was so shit. And
Archaic.
and the fact is they had a really good record against us as well. So we was playing in Merseyside derbies and winning Merseyside derbies as well, which I found absolutely abhorrent. So Ferguson, from a personal sense, I have more hatred to him as a footballer than I have for a lot of the. I hate him more than, as a player, I hate him more than Bruno Fernandes. I hate him more than Bernardo Silva. I hate him more than Eric Cantona, more than Lampard.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, to be honest with you. But like post his career and stuff, no, I'm quite cool with him. Like, but as a player, I have him right up there.
I just thought he was crap, and I used to make me laugh at Everton fans thought he was good. That was my thing.
That was a very hindsighty thing because
we've had the time. He never scored.
Yeah, but
I remember it well because everyone loved Duncan. He was like the main fella around there.
Yeah.
But you're right. What he was the epitome like dogs of war. We're gonna beat you up kind of thing. But he wasn't very good. I didn't hate him at all. I'll be honest.
I don't have any like hatred towards Duncan Ferguson. I think he's.
Put him in. If we're 5s and you're like 2s and 1s, so you go 3 as a compromise.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got to go above Lampard.
Okay. Let's stick with the Everton theme then. Let's go a little bit newer than Ferguson, but not as new as some of the other ones. Tim Cahill.
Oh, yeah.
Blair.
Yeah, hated him. And the stupid punch in the flag shit. How old are you?
Grow up, Tim. I'd put him above Ferguson. He did do my head in. Because again, like, why wasn't no marking him on corners, Paul? why was he always heading the ball into our goal all the time? Every time I've seen him, he was just heading the ball into our net. That used to wind me up.
Duncan Ferguson scored 4 goals against us for Everton.
He did.
What, Kyle?
I'll get to that.
Probably less. A few headers, maybe. Yeah, I didn't like Tim Cahill. I thought he was a bit gnarly as well.
He was just crap.
I don't think. I think he was.
He's just like a last-minute goal merchant. Like.
Yeah, he was just a knock-off Lampard.
Yeah, that's what he was. Yeah.
5 goals Tim Cahill scored against us. 3 at Anfield.
That's it.
I'd put him alongside Ferguson.
Okay. Right, let's stick with the Blues. We're going to move on to. I would never even consider this, but this was when we asked the club legends. This was quite a common one. Richarlison.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How did you not think of him?
Pigeon.
He's an arsehole, He goes above those 2 other Evertonians for me.
Are you messing?
100%.
Who the fuck is Richarlison?
That's the point.
No.
That's why I hate him, because he acts like he's not shit.
Okay.
If you ask Richarlison how boss he is, he'd be like, yeah, I'm
That
boss,
pigeon
mate.
celebration, that done my head in that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is like a modern.
And it's
thing.
injuring players and stuff as well, isn't it? Like,
That's the thing. I don't like players who are in it just to boot people's legs off. Like I like it obviously if it's a good tackle, I'm like, yeah, sweet. But if they're just going in for somebody and just kicking out, I'm like,
I dislike Richarlison more than I dislike Duncan Ferguson.
Okay.
Personally.
Wow.
Yeah, I personally.
I think that's the most popular opinion. Yeah, I think that's right.
I'd put him alongside Fernandes in the 2 range.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
This year's funny because he hasn't done anything, but I need to caveat that with we're about to play them. So shut your mouth.
Brilliant.
He scored a few against us, by the way.
Richarlison.
Yeah.
I'd choose not to. I mean, he defo played in that COVID behind closed doors game, didn't he, when they beat us? But literally,
do you really think he's on level with Bruno though?
Can I ask you though?
Okay, no.
He's hated for Bruno. We should create some.
Honestly, this should
let's
be like,
move. I'll move Cantona
if you did
down.
a separate show of Navos on Bruno Fernandes, I could speak for hours.
I've moved Eric down and I put the 3 Evertonians.
Well, hold your horses because
tier.
there's one more Evertonian to throw into the mix.
Is it Mark Hughes?
It is not Mark Hughes.
Oh, it's a shame. I hate Mark
is
Hughes.
Jordan.
See, I don't like him at all.
Pickford.
Yeah.
I dislike.
Where are you thinking?
Not on level of Bruno, but I'd say like if this is the thing, a 2.5.
No.
It's very much not a thing. You can see because there's no space between the 2 and 3.
He's in the Richarlison mould of thinks he's better than he is.
I think I hate him more than Richarlison.
So do I, yeah. And the Van Dijk injury thing as well obviously plays into it. And also,
who was it? Richarlison injured? Was it Thiago?
Thiago, yeah.
He's also dead weird.
Yeah.
Like he's a weird fella. Like he's like twitchy and like talks to himself and is odd.
Well, that's fine. We all do that, but it's
He's just described me.
I think he's a bit over the top as well.
Yeah, it's an act.
Like,
It's an act. Like, I've saved the ball. Look at me, I'm going to roll my
that's
shoulders.
the thing, and he catches the ball and then he's like, throws out and he's like, yeah, I'm the best keeper in the world. Do you know what I mean? It's like, mate, you've just caught a ball. Like,
You're a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Alisson laying down. Nottingham is up there with the great derby moments.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic.
So he, alongside Fernandes in 2.
I don't actually.
To be fair, mine's more of a personal one for Fernandes. So I mean, it's whatever you want to.
Well, I mean, we could just have a row of Evertonians in the middle.
Okay, we've got 2 more former United players to round it off.
Is it Mark Hughes?
First one is not Mark Hughes.
I hate Mark Hughes.
Diego Forlan.
I did hate him.
But that was because he scored against us. Like there was nothing character-wise about Diego Forlan that made it was just did well against Liverpool. And if that's a category, there's a billion players.
Everybody played for United between like 1995 and 2009.
John Walters, get him in there. Michael Antonio, get them all in there.
Every reserve goalkeeper that's ever played the game.
Honestly, if that's the category, I do well against Liverpool. Yeah, we're in trouble there.
Now,
I don't think he's.
Okay,
down the bottom.
Before we go into the Forlan a little bit more, right? If we take your overriding sort of categories again, can you just remind me of them?
So, these were considerations more than like memorable moments.
Yeah, he's got them.
So he scored, scoring at Anfield. Megan Jersey Duda.
Knocked us out the Europa League as well.
Yeah, knocked us out the Europa League for Atletico. Chants or songs. So did we have a chant? So like for example, like Raheem Sterling, your agent's a knob. I know that was technically about his agent, but you know.
Man United had a song about him scoring at Anfield.
Yeah, whether these are players that are just hated in general and by football, or do we specifically hate them? Is the thing. So if it's a Liverpool specific thing, they go higher up rather than just being a universally hated footballer.
Okay, right. Okay, well that's interesting now because every one of those Everton lads needs to go higher up.
That's the thing. I mean,
because nobody else cares about them.
I don't even think it's the Liverpool thing, the Fernandes thing for me then. So I think you should move down as well.
No, he's universal. He is universal.
But that's the point. Is that do we hate him more than City fans or Arsenal fans or
I think we might.
Blackburn Rovers fans? Is he just so punchable that everyone hates him?
Everyone hates him.
Right. Then this is why Bernardo Silva's going to win. Then I don't think everyone hates. I think we hate Bernardo Silva. I don't think everyone does. So you might be right. I think everyone dislikes Fernandes.
Yeah, I think we should move him down.
So does Fernandes move down?
Okay. And then who goes up then?
All the Everton lads.
Okay.
Because they get extra points.
To be in.
Just to be in.
Yeah.
Well, they can't all fit.
And they get so the extra point also comes from them being shit, and yet we still hate them.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I like it.
Final one.
Is he going in?
Forlan.
Leave him off.
Put him on the bottom.
Yeah,
Harry Kane going down there.
Yeah.
He's shit.
Okay. Final one. Left the biggie for the end.
Mark Hughes.
It is Mr. Gary Neville.
Oh.
I like him as a pundit because he gets tethered by Carragher.
I was about to say, we have to detach Gary Neville, both the pundit and the sometimes employed of me on the overlap. Think about how much we detested this man as a Manchester United footballer for a moment, because I don't think there's many United players in that team that I disliked more than him.
It was because he was United through and through.
Yes.
And because he had a terrible moustache.
Yes. I mean, I think there's not enough characters in footy anymore. So the early days of Redmen, there was loads to take the piss out of. We used to do like John Terry sketches, and which were nowhere near as bad as they were, because he got well worse, by the way, before we did that. Frank Lampard sketches, we did Gary Neville sketches, we did all this kind of stuff because there were characters there that you could take, with characteristics you could take the piss out of. And there's not enough of that in the current like Manchester United team, you know, like Donny van der Beek, like who gives a shit, you know what I mean? Like, but he was a mank. He hated us as much as we hated him. And as well, it forever annoys me that Rob Jones was a miles better right back than him. And he had so many injury problems that he never got to fulfill it. And I don't think Gary Neville's half the thing if Rob Jones stays fit. So, yeah, he was the better of the Nevilles.
Do you not think he's universally hated, though?
No.
No?
No, I don't think anyone hates him.
I just think the City fans hate him.
Well, yeah, but that equally, because that they've got that from the same sort of thing. The local rivalry thing applies to them. We
actively sang a song about him and his family. That was
there. You go. One of the most
abhorrent, funny chants.
Yeah.
If the overriding category was hated more by us than everyone else, he might be up there because he could have got lynched a few times. Like I remember,
he gave as good as he got. Yeah. And he did it in matches as well. Like so,
when they scored,
it was a good rivalry, proper hatred both ways. But yeah,
that like kissing the badge in front of the Liverpool fans and all that kind of stuff. Again, you put the shoe on. I'm old enough and mature enough now to put the shoe on the other foot and go. I'd love to see like Gerrard kissing the camera. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of moments I love. That I love the shine. But he's there. He ticks all the boxes for me. He played for our most hated rival team. He had moments where he actively went out of his way to wind Liverpool fans up. He had a song that we sang for 10 years about him every single time we played, and every time we go to town and get pissed that we'd sing Gary Neville songs, because you just would, because that's the category.
Phil Neville started to bear the brunt of it. We hated Phil Neville just because he was related to Gary Neville. Poor Phil. Absolute strays. Like, you're a Neville. We hate you.
I think
there's lads saying about netball games, booing his sister.
It's like Phil goes to school and just sits in the corner, everyone's bullying him because of his brother. He's like...
But I genuinely think Phil hates Phil for the same reason. Even Gary's brother.
Poor Phil.
I think he might be number one.
Okay, yeah. So where's that put? Who gets knocked down? Is there anyone? Right, let's do our final assessment. So we need one in number one. Oh, Gary Neville is Gary Neville the most hated?
Can I make a case for it being Bernardo Silva?
You can.
He's a prick.
Right. And all I'll say is the difference between Liverpool when Gary Neville was there and Liverpool with Bernardo Silva and Man City is there wasn't really a rivalry with Gary Neville's Manchester United in terms of a footballing rivalry. They were just fucking miles better than us.
I think there's a respect.
That hurts.
I think there's respect for Neville as well in that.
Yeah, there was.
We respected that he was unequivocally mank, and we got why he hated us.
I think that's with the gift of hindsight. I don't think anyone respected or liked Gary.
No.
Absolutely.
But there was a reason to hate him. We shouldn't hate Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
We should hate a Man United captain born in Manchester who hates Liverpool. It'd be weird if we didn't. There's no reason for us to hate a little midget Portuguese fella running around for a club that no one gives a fuck about in terms of like hatred. And yet here we are.
Bernardo Silva.
Gary Neville didn't sing about our fans getting fucking injured, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to put the whole Man City squad on for that reason.
Ringleader.
Ringleader. Okay,
Yeah.
Because Raheem Sterling might need to go up there then as well if that's the case.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't feel, in my opinion, more hatred for Gary Neville than I do Bernardo Silva. So I think Bernardo Silva should stay up there.
And also, it has waned a little touch with him being a good pundit, which is annoying.
Yeah.
I think
and being a socialist as well.
We've got some comments here.
And fighting the government. And everything else.
Yeah, he also sat next to Keir Starmer when he said being a Tory, and he compared it to like being a Liverpool fan.
And also, I like him as a pundit, but his blind spot of criticising Manchester United does still infuriate me. It really, that does still wind me up.
But it's most hated rival players, not about.
I think.
There's no player on this list that I have actively.
Yeah.
Poured, with the exception of actually Raheem Sterling, poured more booze and vitriol upon in their time playing against Liverpool than Gary Neville.
Okay.
I'd vote Neville.
I've literally punched the balloon with his face on.
Yes. Yeah.
And dived off the wall to smash that balloon.
If we move,
So yeah, I think to be fair, I probably do hate Gary Neville more than the others.
Now, does that push everyone down?
Yeah, it pushes the Everton lads down.
So Sergio Ramos and Bernardo Silva in 2.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to put Bruno in 2 as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Everton tier at 3. Lampard, Cantona 4, and then the others 5.
Okay.
I think
can Everton go down again?
Well,
and maybe again.
Well, they're currently losing. So
are they?
Yeah.
What score?
Don't worry about it. Let's assess the list then, please, Steve. If you don't mind. In 5th,
we've got 4 Alan Kane. 4th, we've got a tier of Cantona, Lampard, and Sterling. A 3, a tier of blue shite. We've got Cahill, Ferguson, Richarlison, and Pickford. 2, we've got Ramos, Silva, and Fernandes, and then number 1 is our mate Gaz.
Gary Neville, indeed. There you go. Any honourable mentions? Let us know in the comments. Would you have put anyone in any particular order? Is there anyone on there that you just share a personal, passionate feeling towards, like Navos and Bruno Fernandes? What a one-man vendetta against
Chris and Mark Hughes.
Yeah,
I hate Mark Hughes.
Yeah, I hated Mark Hughes as well.
Yeah, Manchester United, Everton, City, like Chelsea. I mean,
yeah, that's like a full house of teams playing for the worst of the teams. Okay, cool. Right. Sounds cool. Do drop a like on this if you've enjoyed it. Right, now we're going to take a very short break and we will return where we preview the big game at the weekend, Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspur.
I'm going to shit myself there. can't go to the toilet because we're going to miss our flight. So what I'm going to do, I said, if this fart comes out, this could be anything, right? So I've said, I'm going to go and stand next to those kids, so at least everyone thinks it was them.
Those children.
No. Anyway, nothing came out apart from a fart. So I walked back to my mate, goes, you just walked up to some kids and farted on them and left.
Screaming at the top of his lungs, wrong in the wrong key, every Liverpool song.
I've made a living out of that. New singles available, by the way.
So Webster went out, calmed down for a minute, and this big fucking hand come over me. It was Phil Thompson, because we'd done a gig in the Echo Arena on the Monday night. He was like, mad that, wasn't it? Good luck, Keo. I was like, I'll be fucking sound. He's got 2 European Cups.
If you are, for example, a baker and you have a bad day at work, you know, apart from some poor lady who got a yeast infection, you'll be all right. Yeah. Well, I have a shit day at work, you know, 950,000 people hear about it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
As you were doing vlogs and you were stepping on my patch cloak, that's what it was.
You Rupert Murdoch, son of a bitch. You Logan Roy.
So
Fucking hell.
I applied.
Because she's getting fucking loads of views.
Yes, do come over to redmenplus.com and check out this week's Redmen Uncensored. But those guys, the back catalogue there is absolutely sensational at this point. Toby Tarrant, of course, absolutely brilliant the other week. You can go back and check out all 12 previous episodes of that and this week's and beyond. If you go over to redmenplus.com, click the Join Today button, input the code TNP on the payment page of a club captain monthly subscription. You'll get 50% off for 3 months on that one. Very good indeed.
April 30th, if you got to use that code.
Yeah. So this will actually be the last pint you can use that code on. We're calling an end to that one. So if you fancy trying out that show and of course getting access to our full range of content, then TNP on the payment page, and you get 50% off for 3 months. So it's just £2.50 a month instead of £5 a month, which is an absolute steal. Okay, it is time here on Thursday Night Pint to preview Liverpool versus Spurs. I am joined still by Steve Hoare, by Chris Paydock, and by superstar DJ Navos as well. Tottenham Hotspur, Steve Hoare, the first Premier League club to sack an interim manager. I mean, it'd be nice to be...
It might not be the last this week.
Yeah, well, it could be nice to contribute towards them being the first club to sack 2 interim managers. They're a shambles. It's quite annoying that they actually might have another new manager bounce. I don't know. They're a mess. I don't really know what to predict with them. It would be nice if we just put them to bed.
When I first saw this fixture a while ago, I was like, we're playing Spurs in spring again. That's a title challenge potential deal, right? You know? And unfortunately, we're not at that point where we are anymore. But no, I went to the reverse fixture. Actually, it was a very competitive game. Like, I thought Liverpool better than them, and they deserved to win. But what they've always got, mate, and what the annoying thing about Tottenham is that they do have
Harry Kane
and Son, and so they've got goals from nothing. They can just hurt you, and that's why they are where they are in the league, because they are quite crap. But they do have 2 lads who can. And it's a bit why Liverpool, as bad as they've been at times, are still floating around the top 6, because they've got Mo Salah. And, you know, they've got that one lad who can just stick the ball in the back of the net sometimes. So they have been a shambles. The Newcastle result, booing their own players, knocked out. They have been really, they've been as Tottenham as Tottenham can get. But this feels a bit different in that it's starting to feel like the end of an era now. I mean, I'm guessing this might be Harry Kane's last season. There's going to be movements around Tottenham and things like that. But from our point of view, it's an Anfield home game. And we obviously we were speaking before, and Liverpool need to win every game remaining, get to that 71 points mark, and just hope that somebody somewhere, whether it's Newcastle, whether it's Man United, ideally though, both of them, just absolutely fall to bits. That's all we can do. And I am confident of beating them at Anfield. But every time we play Spurs, it's a close game. Like there's very few times we've played them I can think of since, I remember 13-14 when we had the couple where we battered them a few times. But generally speaking, they give us a hard game, both at Anfield and at their gaff. So I wouldn't be shocked again if it's You know, if we win, it's by the odd goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm excited for it, Chris, if I'm being perfectly honest, because we've had a few where we've really had to kind of grind through. Having those 2 away games, where we've gone and picked up points for the change, which has been absolutely brilliant. Wins, more importantly, has been good. We've now got to run 3 home games back to back. It is a big game. I know both teams have badly underperformed by their standards. Liverpool obviously well more than Spurs in that regard, but there is that the Harry Kane factor. We were ranking the most hated rival players, and Harry Kane isn't, but he is a player we love to get one over on. I like to see him unhappy, and the same goes with Son. Like, they're good players. It's a good challenge. It's a good, exciting game of football to get excited about, to go to and watch and enjoy.
Yeah, and with Spurs as well, there's going to be opportunities there, isn't there? It's not going to be one of those games like where they do sit back, but they're also quite open as well at the same time. That's their problem this year, really, isn't it? Like, they haven't quite, since Conte's been gone, I've only seen them once since Conte's been gone, but they've been a lot more, they haven't been as rigid. They've not been no one knows what they're supposed to be doing defensively in quite the same way and stuff for me. So I think there's always going to be goals in this fixture. And I think Liverpool are the better side as well. And I think Liverpool need to go out there and prove it. Because I think the way that we are at the moment, we've spoken about it on shows over the last day or so, where it's like Liverpool and tonight as well, to be fair, to sort of getting back that mentality monsters thing. I think Liverpool can do that. I think Tottenham are broken. And I think we just need to put the nail in the coffin, to be quite honest with you.
What do you think about that, Navos? It does feel like that. I know it'll be Ryan Mason in charge. There'll be fields, and just for the sake of clarity with people, we're recording this live as Tottenham are playing Manchester United,
and they're losing.
They're currently losing that game. But so that this will have some impact, of course, on the field at the weekend. But Chris is right there. Is they are a mess, and Liverpool feel like they're turning a corner. Well, then we haven't got time to be messing around with Tottenham trying to turn any corners themselves. It's at Anfield. We just need to come put the foot on the throat.
I agree. I think they're in a terrible situation at the minute. I think on our side, obviously with our winning streak at the minute and stuff like that, I just can't see Liverpool losing it. I can't, and I can't even see us drawing. I can see us beating them 3-1, something like that, because the way that they are and the way that we are at the minute, there's just I don't think there's any comparison, to be honest with you.
They feel like they're a team who
We want it all to be over.
Just shambles, basically. Again, a caveat that we know what's happening now, but in general, they just look like they can't get this over. Like how we felt a few weeks ago, we have turned a bit of a corner. Theirs has gone the complete opposite way. How can you start a season with a league winning manager, Champions League football, loads. He did spend money in the summer. Conte got players in. He went and bought Richarlison. He did get the dough to spend and stuff. And he ended up where they were literally they did his head in so much that he thought, fuck it, I'm going on the telly and just slagging them all off so they can please sack me and give me some money.
He walked out on stage he'd rather have walked out with a grenade in either hand and take himself out just to kind of make a statement, because that was how much Tottenham had done his head in.
Exactly, and
it's not really surprising that they're a shambles. They're rudderless. They've got no manager again.
Yeah.
I mean, and they haven't. And the last one was a stupid appointments as well, wasn't it? Like, you know what I mean?
No, before and Mourinho.
No, I mean the last interim manager.
Keeping Stellini.
I mean, it's just beggars belief, to be quite honest with you. The guy that you've sacked assistant, you're gonna go and take on. I mean, it's just fucking stupid.
I think they're in a worse position than what we were a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
I genuinely do, because obviously, I mean, we
always
had Klopp. That's the thing. We've always had him, so it's like we've never lost that leadership. We were just trying to figure out who needs to play in what role, and I think we are starting to figure that out. And they're doing this, and we're doing this at the minute. So
they feel 13-14 Liverpool when we didn't win it, and then it all started going wrong, and the best player wants to leave, and there's doubts about everyone, and who's in charge, and who's buying who, and who gets what. They feel a little bit like that, Spurs, and it might get worse before it gets better for them. And I heard recent reports say Nagelsmann was close to getting the job and things like that, which again, maybe I don't know. Maybe he's good. I don't know. He seems like he's got the profile to it, but
got Marty McFly managing them. It's wild.
It's they're at a point, unfortunately now. But looking ahead to this game in particular, is that with all this being said, they still pose a threat. It's a bit like fighting the box with the knockout punch. At any point in time, they can score against you.
Well, I think back to the game, Salah scored one of the great individual Anfield goals of all time, and then they get the penalty and Kane sticks it away. And that's because they've got that kind of threat in them. And he again scores earlier on this season. He will. We don't have clean sheets. Not many. In fact, I was looking at it in terms of the last 5 against Spurs. 2-1, 1-1, 2-2, 3-1, 2-1. That's about both home and away. 3 away games chucked in that one. So you wouldn't bank on it being a huge scoreline, but also Spurs are a mess. So that's the challenge for Liverpool, is to get the feel-good vibes.
And because
going.
they're playing tonight as well, excuse me, it's an extra day's rest for us by comparison to them.
And we're at home.
And they've got a smaller, worse squad than us.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about Liverpool's squad then, Navos. For you, from what you've seen the last couple of games, particularly the players who've come off the bench, who do you think is in line for the start here that hasn't in the last 3?
That hasn't started in the last 3.
Yeah, so I mean, like we've got there's Thiago, Elliott, Diaz, Nunes. Pick one. If you want, we'll start from there.
I think Nunes could get a start this time, because I think, obviously, I know Jota got a couple of goals game before last, but I think from the last game, I think he might sort of see that he's not burying chances that he should be. That last game, there's a couple of chances where I thought they should have been put away.
I'll be honest with you, mate. I'm going
And he
to
wasn't.
interrupt a little bit. I'm not sure Darwin's your man for that either.
I know, but I just think... I completely agree, but I just think, he's got to keep... I think from looking at Klopp's point of view and what he would normally do is change it up and see what he can do and put him in a different position or try him in a different way, and yeah.
I think of those you said, I think Diaz might be the most likely.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might also play Thiago because Hendo looked goosed
the
other day. We'll see how he rocks up because he looked shattered.
Well, that's one of the things that's really noticeable about this season. And this is the thing with the issue with Thiago. I think there's 2 players who've played too much footy this season. Well, there's 3 of our midfielders. Fabinho's played more minutes than anyone. Henderson's played too much, and Thiago's played too much. Now Thiago's coming back into it. He doesn't need to play footy matches. It probably is. That's what his role needs to be now, is to give a little bit of burden, release the burden on some of the lads. But it's Tottenham Hotspur. You're right. I don't think you're going to take Fabinho out for this one, Chris. You're probably just you would persist with him, and that makes sense for the Thiago Henderson one, if nothing else. Let Jordan have 60 minutes off, and if you want him to run things down and maybe shut the game down in the last half an hour, you've got that option there.
Yeah, maybe. I think, if there was players that I was looking at, I'm thinking Jota. I'm probably thinking Henderson. I'm probably thinking Fabinho. Jota, not a performance thing for me. Jota's more, out for a long time, comes back in, plays a lot of football. Yeah. That's a concern for me. I want to be able to give him a little bit of a rest there and there. Diaz would be the one that I'd like to put into the side. Little bit concerned whether he can go yet. I mean, we've seen essentially, I think, about 40 or 50 minutes from Diaz. So normally you'd like, if this was pre-season, Diaz would be getting 60 at some point. Maybe this is the 60. Yeah. Maybe this is the 60 and Jota takes the 30 or something like that. So yeah, on the Jota thing, he's played a lot of football recently, and then to go another short week, I think that might just be 3 games in. What will it be? 7 days for Jota? That might just be a little bit too much. I think it's too much for Jordan as well.
I think that feels smart on the Jota front. And also it's part of the competitiveness. Look, Diaz has come in off the bench 3 times now, but the last 2 really, because the Leeds one was just more of a trotting him out. And he's looked a danger. He's looked a threat. And you're right, he would be in normal world. I think that left side is just his position. We talked about earlier on in the show about how, Thiago and Norman, is he now in that position where he does just come in when he's fit? Well, he actually hasn't been in the last couple of weeks. But Diaz is your man. He's prime age. He's bought for that. He's integrated into the side. He's desperate. He was one of our main men before he gets injured. So it makes sense that he'll be the one who's being kind of not pushed into the first team, but kind of cautiously guided back in there. And again, maybe it is a performance thing for Jota. He's taking his chances the last couple of weeks. Well, you know what's not going to do him any harm. He didn't score this week, mate. It's Diaz's chance.
Yeah.
That's how ruthless and cutthroat it's going to be. Diaz is going to come in, right, you're going to have a couple of good games and see if you can do what Jota's done in the next 3. And if not, you know what, sound. Merry-go-round, we'll bring someone else in and we'll keep it ticking over and keep it refreshing.
Do you know
I just want
what's
to see more
mad?
Diaz, to be honest.
Do you know what's really mad though? Just how much of a machine Salah is.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Because for all the conversations about lads playing too much, he's in his 30s every single game.
Yeah.
Every single game, no matter what.
I see
And
so
you
many
got
people chatting shit about him as well, and it does my head in that.
His quality, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. The amount of football that lad's played, season upon season upon season at those levels, it's actually ridiculous. Like, does he need a break? Never is the answer.
Yeah.
Seemingly.
Yeah.
How?
No, yeah.
He's a freak, isn't he? Four days between games makes you think he should be okay. Whatever he wants to do. Like, in terms of the changes, even if he's going to play, you would think he was rested, so he'll come back in.
It was a knock on it.
Well, Jürgen said after the game, he's
Precautionary.
played. He's played too much, and I was just looking after him.
Oh,
We were looking after him a little bit because he hadn't trained, but he could have played if he really wanted him to. So he should be fine. I imagine it'll be 3 changes. I think one of the midfielders change, and I think it'll be Jordan, and I think one of the forwards change. And I agree with you. It's probably Jota, and I think that feels about right. And then you're making another 3 changes for Fulham.
I don't think Darwin's done enough yet, and to say. And look, we said if he's pulling up trees and training, Klopp might go. Actually, you know what, mate? But right now, Gakpo's in brilliant form. He fits what we're doing. And then on the other side, Jota's scoring goals when he's playing in that position, and he's doing all the functional stuff as well. And now Diaz is back and is impressed off the bench. So yeah, Darwin's kind of finding himself sort of 5th in the pecking order. And I think I said this on the player rankings last night. But if Firmino's fit, I'd have Firmino in ahead of before Nunes at this point.
Yeah.
I just think in terms of what they're doing on the pitch.
I think you're right there. The Klopp's buzzword has been stability for the last 7 days, hasn't it? Darwin doesn't scream stability at me, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the point.
Yeah.
I think
There you go. That's all.
Full stop. Yeah. No, it's hard to argue, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I agree with that. I think I can't see how Thiago doesn't come in for this because I think you're running the risk of heading towards negligence. Yeah, it could be both, but this feels to me like 2, max 3 changes, and I actually don't think Canate counts because he'd have been in the team in another world. He'd have just played that game in the midweek. So I think you can swap in for Matip, and it doesn't count. You know, we often worry about making too many changes. I don't think that kind of counts in a way.
Well, let's say Canate's in back 5.
Uh-huh.
Trent, Canate, Van Dijk, Robertson.
Yeah.
I think it'll be Fabinho. Oh, I think Jones starts. I'm going to leave the other midfielder for now. I think Diaz on the left, Salah on the right, Gakpo up front, which we saw Thiago play that right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you've got to give Elliott a go.
Against Tottenham, I
don't think so. I think we should try to put Thiago in.
Yeah,
personally.
It'll be interesting to see if Thiago can do the covering that we've been asking Henderson, or indeed if they ask him to do it. That's the interesting question, isn't it? Because we had the
He's very good at slowing the game down. I think Thiago, he's like, you know, if we're getting constantly attacked or whatever, I just think he's very good at slowing that game down and being like, screw your heads on, lads, let's play out from the back.
The only thing is that I like the idea of Thiago on the bench, and you want to get toward a situation where you can use him for what you want to use him for. I think it's been a useful addition in recent games where you're playing low block sides or you might need to break down toward the end of the football match. I don't think that's going to be the case against Tottenham. I think there's a good chance we could run this one up in the first 60 minutes, and Thiago can be a part of that, and that's when you then go, am I bringing Milner on, am I bringing Henderson on, or am I bringing Elliott on for him? Because I don't want Thiago playing the 90 on this. I think we need to keep protecting what we've got. You could see actually Henderson then come on for Fabinho potentially in that situation again, just to rest legs, and then Milner. And that's we've won this game. We've done all we're going to do. We've expended all the energy we want to expend. We're shutting it down. Hopefully that'll be the game plan.
I was thinking because I had never considered Thiago playing right wing, well, right midfield in this system. You know, the big chat about it last week. Obviously, thought you would fight with me, but then Klopp did do it. And that's sort of like, now that's, well, he obviously thinks he's a viable option in it. it still concerns me. I don't know if you want Thiago legging it about as much as that because
Thiago loves legging it about. We've got this idea of him like he's Jan Molby and he's got like a 5-yard radius that he just sprays passes from.
I still think he's that good at it. is the general
I think he's much
like
better
the idea
than
of
the
Thiago as a protractor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in the middle of the park.
Just 1 foot dug into the ground.
The anti-foosball, it just spins that way.
No, I just don't think that Tottenham's defence if Thiago started, would be able to keep up with the passes of Thiago and Trent. I just don't think we'd be able to.
That is outrageous. That is outrageous. Having Thiago and Trent in the same team is.
When we brought him on against Leeds, it was just like a wet dream. One of the two out there in the middle of the park. Like just more of that, please.
Let's wrap this up then. Let's get score predictions. Navos, what do you think?
I think 3-1 Liverpool.
What is the current score for Tottenham?
They're losing 1-0.
I have to shout that actually, yeah.
I think it's going to be 4-0 to Liverpool.
You bastard.
2-1 to the Reds.
I think 4 as well. I think we're going to batter them. I really do. I think we're going to absolutely batter them.
I think we might make Harry Kane cry.
Yeah. I'm feeling that, like, you know, Harry Kane scores his goal, so he says he's done his job bit, like he does all the time. But no, that if we can do to him what will happen with the Ronaldo thing, if we can just deny him that, then it's a perfect afternoon. You win well, and Kane, if he has one chalked off of VAR, would be absolutely perfect.
He wins a pen, then he gets overturned for diving.
Oh God! Oh God!
Cool. Make a great author one day.
Yeah. Give me.
Forget 50 Shades of Grey. Come and listen to my new novel. I've got your boxed off. Yeah.
Put your score predictions in the comments underneath if you don't mind. If you're listening on podcasts and all that good stuff, always leave 5-star reviews. That always helps. And yeah, plenty more to come from us. Thursday Night Pint will return next week. We've got Redmen Uncensored over on redmenplus.com, which is more of us, less football, more of us chatting life shit. Use the code TNP for 50% off a monthly subscription. That will be very, very good indeed. Yeah, thank you for that. Just quickly to round up some of the bits from earlier on. People saying a lot of shouts for Paul Scholes from the club legends. Did we hate Paul Scholes? Should he have been on the board?
Ginger monk twat.
Yeah. Okay. Martin Tyler, says Tracy. Poor old Martin Tyler. Not a rival player, unfortunately, but yeah. There's a lot of shouts for Paul Scholes. We'll leave it at that. Thank you so much to everyone.
Hang on a minute. We could have included the Frank Lampard fucking stuff on the sidelines, though, couldn't we, in our hatred of him?
Yeah. Maybe higher. It's funny in hindsight that he was telling Jurgen Klopp not to give it the big one, and basically not won a football match since.
Forever.
Yeah.
It's quite funny, to be honest.
Quadbot said Pickford is Joe Hart, but from the charity shop. That's fine. We'll end on that. Right, thank you so much. That is Thursday Night Pint for this week. We will return next Thursday at 7 p.m. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click that notification bell for notification on all of our live streamed shows. Do check out the watch along at the weekend for Liverpool Tottenham. Thank you so much to our wonderful guests. Thank you so much to Steve, to Chris and to Navos as well. And yes, see us all next week. Cheers.
Hey everyone, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Did you know that if you go over to redmenplus.com and sign up as a Club Legend subscriber, I will personally email you every single month with a new code which gets you 20% off at redmenmerch.com. That's a no-brainer. Go and do it.